Much more unstructured, much more social data. We pipe information from social feeds into our system of record and use that for customer support capabilities, for codifying and personalizing offers as they go out. So for me, the big change has been utilizing social data as a means to both personalize the experience that an individual has, as well both on the entire life cycle, whether it's at the prospect side or whether it's all the way at the post-sale support side.
Reuben?
Yeah, I guess I would say what I see clients doing is making better and better use of externally available data. So I would say that sort of the data environments have gotten more liquid, which is interesting because they're getting more liquid at the same time. Security and PCI and all those types of compliance issues are getting, if you will, tighter and tighter. But the availability, a lot of the pipes have been built, pipes from publishers into trading desks. We talked about programmatic buying. You talked about other forms of display inventory, your own customer data. But in general, I see that some of the clients that I've worked with are really making use of more third-party, externally available data, which now can include transactional information, in addition to the sort of the classic response and click-through type information as well. So you've got a lot more data kind of coming together, typically in some management platform that you're using, and you're able to actually get a lot more richness way beyond kind of basic demographic data, which for 20 plus years is what you had to deal with.
That was my follow-up question. What is the mix between internally oriented sources of information versus these third-party, and where are you getting the biggest bang for your investment?
So I think today our data mix, for lack of a better term, is about 70% external and 30% internal. So Lexis has a database of about 8.5 million contacts. Every attorney, paralegal, office administrator, law student, over the last 25 years, right? And that's our structured data. But all the unstructured data around behavioral, around social, blog data that gets captured and utilized for contextualizing campaigns, that's all coming from external.
Yeah, I guess I'll just take a slightly different approach to even talking about it, which is, what are we using the data for? And let's just say we're in the marketing world and we're using data to acquire consumers in one way or another, interact with what we're trying to sell. And I think, so it all to me backs into, major companies are spending, millions, if not billions of dollars on media, right? And the efficacy of that media is all based on data, right? By definition, how well you can target, how relevant your offer is going to be, whether you're talking to the right potential people, and how much money you're spending against any of those people. So it's a pretty media-centric view of this, but that's where that's where the money's spent, right? So you have to start to think about, well, what am I trying to do? Well, I'm trying to, on one level, I'm just trying to engage consumers, or at another level, I'm trying to get them to actually buy something from me. Those are two different types of behaviors. Engagement covers a broad range of how I'm going to reach them, and trying to get somebody to actually purchase, that's much more of an e-commerce view. And then start to back down. What's the data available that helps me target best for that? And again, this is mostly, again, in an external third-party kind of way, right? And so a lot of brands have to think through, for them, for their consumers, for their value proposition, for whatever they're trying to sell, what are the types of data attributes that are most effective in prediction relative to media efficacy, and then where do I go find those? How do I invest in those? How do I learn about what's working, what's not working? How much of that is knowledge that I want to build? How much of that is sort of a core asset that I want to build as a marketing organization in the company? Versus how much of that am I willing to just continue to shop outside with all the different vendors that are out there willing to sell me audience, who will try and help me more effectively buy, right? So there's that balance of what I'm trying to build versus what I can buy or rent.
Gartner said a couple years ago that more money would be spent by the CMO than the CIO on IT in X years from now. And
By 2017.
of course, we all scoffed at that, and I didn't believe that. But we're obviously seeing that pattern go that direction. I think one of the things, again, I have to help our marketing folks with is the value spend on that technology. They might not invite us to help evaluate the service that they want to deploy, but we need to wedge ourselves in and engage and help them and save them from themselves sometimes. There's so many services coming to the table now, cloud-based services coming to the table to help marketing folks do the analysis that we're talking about. Not all of them are created equal, obviously, and we as IT experts need to help them do that.